Holy motherfucking shit, motherfuckers, man. Oh shit. Hey man, let's see what the fuck is going on in their world.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Solicitor.
Hey, what's up now?
How are you doing? You are live right now on the Zach Moonshine Show.
Hey, rock and roll, man. It's good to be talking to you again.
Fuck yeah, man. Welcome fucking back. So what the fuck is going on in the world of Solicitor? You guys just released 2 songs that are so fucking badass. I was telling everybody earlier, I was like, look, they don't even have to put out a full album this time. They got 2 songs that are so fucking badass. That's all it takes, man.
No, that's real kind of you, man.
I'm serious.
Yeah, this 7-inch, dude. We when COVID first hit, 2 years ago, and the before times, crazy how time seems to be of no linear construct whatsoever anymore. No, we had plans to record a couple of songs and release them. Back when we were like, oh yeah, 2 weeks, and then flatten the curve.
Right.
Like we're like, oh cool, like we cancel some shows. Okay, that sucks. Let's record some stuff. Well, what we weren't counting on was the plants, the pressing plants getting so backed up. And of course, I think there was a fire at one of them, and then over in Europe, and then of course, shipping delays and supply chain stuff, and everything just compounding on itself. So, dude, it's been insane. We were supposed to release those 2 songs in July of last year. And, here we are in February of 2022. So, it's been a long time coming, and we're really glad that people are interested and aware and listening and headbanging and blasting that shit as loud as they possibly can. And, it's given us a little bit of fire, just to know that people are loving what we're doing.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like that it's been so long, and now that you put it out, like, what has the reaction been like so far? I mean, people are they going nuts over it.
Well, folks are going nuts over it, and we're always going to be our own worst critic, right? And there's always that little sense of imposter syndrome when people are telling you how awesome something is and how great something is, and it's like, don't get me wrong, it's not like I'm ungrateful or that any of us are ungrateful. It's just that we've been sitting on these for so long, waiting for them to come out, just waiting for the go ahead, to put everything out there. It almost doesn't feel real that people would be so excited about 2 songs. But then, to put it into perspective, no one's been doing anything. At least it feels like, right? I mean, you book a show, and then a week before you're supposed to play, it gets canceled because someone got COVID, or a festival gets postponed again and again, and it's just really hard to plan ahead. So it's hard to know how you're going to feel and how to manage your expectations when you're in a position where you can't really have any expectations.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's definitely given us a big boost just to know that people are still excited about us. They want more. I've been getting questions about, hey, when's the full length coming out? When are you guys playing again? What's going on with tour? And those are great questions. I wish I had solid answers. You know.
Well, I mean, I love the last record, you know that, and I had you guys on last time, and of course, I follow you guys on social media and stuff, and when Scott from Clawhammer sent me the press release for this, I immediately went to Bandcamp and I listened to it, and I mean, it was I wasn't joking when I said, like, it was literally within seconds. I was like, man, fucking take my money, dude. Like, this is bad fucking ass, man.
Hell yeah.
But like, there's definitely, I don't know how to say it. There is some sort of, there is a difference in, like, the production quality of this one versus the last one. It is definitely a step up. Not that there was anything wrong with the last one, but this one definitely sounds, I don't know how to explain it. There's just something really fresh about it. Can you tell us about that?
I think with these two songs, and I wish the guys were here with me to get their input. We're still doing the long distance thing. I live in Portland and they live in Seattle. So sometimes it can be a little hard to get them on the horn. But what I can say about the songwriting process and all that, we went into the studio knowing that we were recording two songs, and there would be a side A and a side B. That was the intention from the get-go, and we knew coming off of the full length that we wanted to bring as much of that energy and enthusiasm as we could without rehashing anything that we'd already done, right? Mm-hmm. So we chose a new studio, Sentinel Studios out of Seattle. That's our dude Dedo. He's fucking great. He did like the last Mortiferum record and some Cerebral Rot stuff, and he did like Feral, Punk Band, and he's just all about all things heavy and underground, right? And so we chose him for this time around. The songs are definitely faster and meaner than the record, I can say that for sure. We kind of honed in on what we liked the most and scrapped what we didn't like, right? And this was kind of like a, how do you say, when you test the waters a little bit, right? We just wanted to see what people were going to think of these hard and heavy hitters. The song A, Killer for Hire, is very much in the vein of like Betrayer and Feed Tyrant, and kind of building on what we've done before, but we cut out we cut out all the fat, right? We just really honed in on what we wanted out of that kind of a song, kind of that anthem-y, fist-pumping, speed metal song. And then side 2, Megalomaniac, we wanted to pick up where we left off with Grip of the Fist, which is the last song on the full length, right? Total fucking banger. And we wanted to bring that aggression and that technical nastiness, as I like to call it, to that song. So it's, when you're listening to the 7-inch, it's two very different styles of songwriting, but it's still us. And I want to make sure that if anyone understands anything after listening to this record, that we're throwing down the gauntlet as far as the next full length.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. You mentioned Cerebral Rot, and that reminds me of something funny that happened recently. I ordered one of those boxes from Melissa Box that does the Metalhead Box thing, the monthly.
Oh yeah, totally.
And she sent me this cool box of stuff, but there was a T-shirt in there, and I couldn't read the name on it. I was like, "What the fuck is this?" So I took a picture of it, and I posted it on Facebook, and I'm like, guys, if anybody knows what this is, and of course everybody comes out of the woods, that's Cerebral Rot, dude. I'm like, oh fuck. So I went and checked it out.
Dude, they're so heavy.
They're fucking badass, man.
Yeah, they're great. They're so heavy live. They're fucking loud. It's fuck. If you get a chance to see them live, I'm telling anyone on your show right now, if you get a chance to see Cerebral Rot live, do it. Don't ask questions, just go.
Hell yeah. These two songs are they're definitely like sort of like a teaser of what's to come, right?
I would say so. We have, again, like I said earlier, we are our own worst critics. We like to learn from our mistakes and learn from our criticisms. And one comment I've noticed that's been fairly consistent, both in the full length and in regards to these two songs. People are always asking about our production quality, right? And granted, we don't have much of a catalog to look back on, The first record was rushed out the door. I think we talked about that the last time you and I spoke with the guys. We had a crazy deadline, so some things didn't get mixed quite the way that we would have preferred. You know what I mean? And it just comes down to how much time you give yourself, right? And so we learned a little bit more about managing time that time around. And then switching to the new studio, we recorded everything. I think in the press release it mentions, we recorded everything on 1/4-inch tape and then bounced that through the digital interface and then doubled that track. So you kind of get this thicker sound. But that doesn't always translate depending on what system you're listening through, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think, of course, YouTube commenters know everything, right?
Right.
They have a lot to say and a lot to tell you.
On their cell phones.
From their cell phones.
With the tiny little speaker.
But it's interesting, I've been really surprised. People have been kind in their comments and their criticisms, which is more than I could say for some other releases I've seen come out recently, right? And it's something that when we head into the studio for the full length, we're going to approach as head-on as we can. We want to give ourselves plenty of time to mix everything down the way that we want. But part of that also means recording the tracks that you want. Get the sound that you want. Get the quality of sound that you want first, right? Get everything mic'd up to the nines. Get everything captured as cleanly and crisply as you can. And then you can start doing all that other stuff. And then you can start adding dubbed guitars and then whatever, all the bells and whistles. But if you don't capture that sound perfectly the first time, it doesn't have to be the first take, but the first, your initial recordings that you keep, you're not going to be able to work with much. And that's taken me far longer than I care to admit to learn, right? It comes down to time and time management and getting your shit done efficiently. So I think moving forward that we're just going to try our best not to waste time in the studio, just focus and schedule things out and just get it done. Because the stakes are pretty high for us right now is what we feel like.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I didn't the first time I listened to it, I was sitting here at my desk at the computer, which is hooked up to my stereo. Mm-hmm. So immediately when I pressed play, it was coming through my stereo. I got 100-watt fucking stereo with tower nice. Speakers, 15s. It's blasting, and I turned it up. So right. I was hearing every single different layer. I don't know what it sounds like through a cell phone speaker, so I can't speak for
it's probably pretty compressed. Even someone's laptop or something, it's going to be tinny. The vocals aren't going to be loud enough, those kinds of things. And I think some of that just comes down to preference, really.
Even Bandcamp compresses it pretty much. When you're streaming right. on there, I think it's just 128K, so it is. Yeah, pretty I think you're right. But it still sounded really, really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then when I downloaded it, and it's amazing. I love it. I can't wait to hear the whole record. Man.
You know, the songwriting on those two songs is far more advanced than the full length, I would definitely say. I feel like the dudes, you know, Matt and Pat, have really come into their own as far as how they play off each other and play with each other. And, you know, you could actually hear Damon's face this time around. He kind of got buried in the mix on the full length, and we felt bad about that. So you're not going to miss him now. And of course, Johan's drumming is just out of this fucking world. And I couldn't be more proud of those guys and all the work that they put into this.
Yeah, it's really got an analog, organic sound to it. It definitely sounds like, I mean, I haven't heard it on vinyl, but I've heard it, you know, as a wave, and I mean, it sounds really good. It sounds live. It sounds like I'm in the room with you guys while you're jamming.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think, I mean, your pipes, the way that you're screaming on some of these songs is just insane. How the fuck do you do that?
Oh man, I mean, I wish I could explain the you know, the physics of vocals. I'm not a scientist.
Do you have to do like warm ups and stuff before you do that, or just?
Oh yeah, I mean, you're gonna destroy yourself if you don't. You know, especially right now. I don't know how much you follow us on social media. I know you follow the band page, but I don't know if you follow any of us individually. I'm currently dealing with a thing called Bell's palsy, and it's a partial temporary paralysis of the face caused by compression of the like seventh cranial nerve. It's like right behind your ear. What happens with that is it can affect your neck muscles and your vocal cords over time. So, because what happens is the rest of the muscles in your face are trying to compensate for the nerve damage, you know, the atrophy that happens with this. And so it's very easy, while in the middle of an episode of this, to strain your vocal cords and hurt yourself, right?
Wow.
Without even really realizing it. It can also, like, you can paralyze a vocal cord just because the muscles around it aren't activated, right? They can't move right now. So, warming up and practicing and singing to myself around the house and just kind of keeping up on my vocal exercises is really important, especially right now. And it's easy to forget to do, you know, life gets in the way, can't practice all the time, you know, and you can kind of let it go by the wayside for a little while. But when it comes to going back in the studio or getting ready for shows in the future, like even 10 minutes of doing a quick couple of scales and singing like the chorus to your favorite song or something before you get on stage or get in the vocal booth is really, really important, just to like make sure everything's moving correctly, make sure that you're taking note of how you're breathing, you know. And I would say that should go for anyone. There's lots of people I've met over the years who don't warm up and they belt it out and they can blast it out or whatever, but they're either not a very dynamic singer and they only do one style, or they burn themselves out and damage their voice over time, right? And you have to be really careful. Like, you have to take that into account. You can turn guitars down. You can't turn your voice up. I don't know. I could talk for hours about that kind of stuff, though.
Oh, yeah. I got some questions for you coming in from the listeners in the chat room. They're killing me right now.
Yeah, fire at me.
Secret Weapon wants to know, tell us something that your band members don't want us to hear.
I mean, let's see. There's not much, honestly. Hat's always talking about his farts, so that's out the window. So is Johan. It's kind of a tough question because honestly, we're all pretty open books. Never mind the fact that we're all responsible for COVID. No, that's a joke.
Yes.
Good job. Good job, Secret Weapon. You stumped me.
Speaking of the pandemic, like how has that affected how you guys work compared to before?
I mean, it's kind of a crapshoot, really. I make it up there when I can. The guys make it to practice when they can. So if we decide that we're all going to try to get together, we have to plan in advance and make sure no one has any risk of exposure and get tested and all that stuff, because we share our practice space with other people. And if I take the train up or drive up or whatever, I got to be careful who I'm in contact with too, and it's just kind of a pain in the ass. But we make it happen, Gotta make it happen.
Another question: have you guys ever played outside of the USA?
Only in Canada, and we did 4 dates in 2019 when we toured on the EP. We did Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary. Sorry, 5 dates: Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary, Saskatoon, and which is like up in northern Saskatchewan, and Toronto. We're hoping to get to Europe. We were scheduled to play Keep It True. We'll see what happens. And if we can't get to Europe this year, then we'll try and get down to Mexico and maybe South America.
Hell yeah. If you could play anywhere in the world, where would you want to play?
Anywhere in the world? Oh, man. The more we do this, the more I meet fans and other metalheads around the globe, so it's kind of hard to say. Probably Australia. I heard there's a pretty good scene out there. There's a festival out there called Steel Assassins, if I remember correctly, and their bills are always pretty sick looking. That'd be cool to get out to like Australia and New Zealand, and then maybe hop up to like Indonesia, and do like a little Pacific Rim tour. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Lady Red wants to know if you'll come play in her basement.
Well, yeah, where's your basement? You gotta tell us.
Somewhere in Canada, that's all I know.
We'll fucking play your basement? Hell yeah.
Fucking Canadians. Hell yeah. Canada rocks, man. There's so many metalheads in Canada, it's insane.
They're insane. They're fucking maniacs, man. They're fucking maniacs. It's great. Nova Scotia would be really fun. We didn't hit Winnipeg or Montreal when we were coming through, and Nova Scotia would be awesome to play like Halifax or something like that.
Yeah.
Because then we could just come all the way down through and hit all those northern, northeast states. That'd be a sweet run, actually.
Fuck yeah. Another question, Leviathan wants to know, have you ever stabbed anyone?
I mean,
I guess that's what he must be thinking you're stabbing people when he's listening to your song.
Okay, in another lifetime, and by another lifetime probably 10, 12 years ago,
Stabber for hire.
And I'm going to leave it at that.
There you go.
Thanks, Leviathan.
There you go, Leviathan. Another question. Carl wants to know: have you ever taken a stage dive and got hurt or crushed anybody? Have you ever stage dived?
Not at my own shows, right? Not at shows that I'm like playing. But I have gotten stage dive on, and that always kind of sucks. I was actually watching this band, Great Falls, play in Seattle, and the bass player, I had never seen them before. I didn't know what their deal was, right? And so I'm up front and rocking out, and their bassist, I guess, has a habit of falling off the stage because he gets in the zone and just, like, falls over. And he fell over backwards onto me, and the headstock of the bass hit me in the head somewhere. I just remember waking up with people standing around me, and, you know, I had to put some ice on my head and everything. It was kind of gnarly. I had a little cut. But no, I've never stage dived on anyone. I'm like 6 feet fucking tall. I'll destroy you. Like, you do not want me flying at you ever. Like, gravity is not my friend.
I only ever tried to stage dive one time, and it was at a Clutch show in Memphis. Oh, yeah. And it was, but I was an idiot, man. It was right after Dimebag had gotten murdered. And I was in there drunk as fuck, and I was wearing a Pantera shirt, and I was just having a good time, but I was just wanting to fucking stage dive. So I climbed up on the rail and tried to jump back, and then security, man, they were at that time, they were not fucking playing around. They grabbed me. They literally grabbed me and used my head to open the doors on the way out. Threw me out. I was like, fuck, no, man.
I mean, that shit changed venue security forever. You know? Like, all these clubs were reevaluating their security protocol and reevaluating whether or not they wanted to have metal shows. Like, it was I think people forget, or, you know, they're just too young to realize, like, how big of a deal that was. Like, not only did we lose Dimebag, you know, but, like, you couldn't have fun at a show for a while there. Like, at all.
It was really tense. It was really tense.
Like, it was really tense. It was really brutal. I mean, shit, man, like, I've worked as a bouncer for many, many years, 15 years now and counting. And I've always loved that. You know, when you meet all the fans, you like get to really see the ins and outs of stuff, right? And some of the craziest hits I've ever worked were power trip shows. Speaking of people from Texas who aren't with us anymore,
hell yeah.
You know, R.O.P. Riley Gale.
Yeah.
Fucking power trip shows, man. Like, I feel sorry for anyone that never got to see that man live, because those shows, as soon as they hit the stage, as soon as that first note was hit, it was just bodies flying everywhere. Like, you didn't have a chance to call for backup on the radio if you were stuck in the moat, because you're just catching people hoping they don't crack their skull on the floor. Like, you know? And that was every time they played. Every time. And I'm going to miss that kind of energy, you know? Like, I don't know too many other people that can get a crowd to do that.
I never got to see them live, but I really wanted to. But when you're talking about that, like, it definitely makes me think, like, their energy reminds me a lot of, like, an Exodus show. And I was talking to...
That was one of the other crazy fucking shows I worked with, when Exodus was on that Mr. Pickles Thrash of All tour, or whatever it was. It was like Exodus and Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah, I was talking to Zetro a while back on the show, and he was telling me about one of their shows that they did where he saw the crowd smashing the fucking the barricades in, and it knocked it down, and it actually crushed this one of the bodyguards, one of the bouncers or whatever was in there, and it like bent his knee all the way backwards.
Holy shit, dude.
And he had to stop the show, and he was just like, oh my god, like what the fuck. And he said that the guy was on the stretcher on his way out. He's like, can I get an autograph, man? He was like, that was like one of the most metal things ever.
That's fucking wild, man.
Yeah, like, but those people were crazy. But I mean, that's kind of the energy that I think of when I think of Power Trip, man. They were on the like, I feel
they
like
were onto something.
I feel like if he didn't pass away, they would be huge right now.
Yeah, they would be like headlining international festivals, you know. And who knows? I don't know. I don't know what any of those guys are up to. I hope they're doing okay, you know. 'Cause it's hard to know where they would have been. Do I know?
I got another question for you from the chat. Secret Weapon wants to know, have you ever had any pyro disasters or any crazy things like that happen on stage while you're playing live?
No pyro disasters. We don't have any fire in our show. The one time we wanted to use a fog machine, it wouldn't work. And it was really frustrating because it was just giving out these like tiny little itty bitty fucking clouds, like nothing, little tiny poofs, nothing good. It was really pathetic. No crazy disasters. Nothing, you know, no guitars fucking flying off the stage, no anything like that, no wardrobe malfunctions, no one's fallen on their ass yet. Yeah, I can't think of anything yet, but yet is the key word.
Yet. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for Pyro Disaster 5.
All right. Well, there's a bunch of people in the chat room asking about Facebook and stuff. You're pretty active on there. Where can they go? Where can they go to follow you guys? And
cool. We have our Facebook page, of course, Solicitor Speed Metal, if you search for that. Instagram's the same, Solicitor Speed Metal. Find us there. Bandcamp, of course. We have a YouTube channel, and it's if you just Google Solicitor Speed Metal, it'll hop up at the top of your search. I guarantee it. You can find us on all the socials. If you try to message us on Facebook, it's not going to work. We don't have a link for that. You can send us an email directly if you have an actual question. Otherwise, you can comment on something or whatever, you know. You can also message us through Bandcamp or Instagram, whichever you prefer. Trying to think if there's anything else out there. I don't think so.
I think that about covers it.
I hope not. Who knows? Those hackers are getting wild these days.
Hell yeah. All right, well, so I guess I'm about out of questions for you. Is there anything else you want to let the people know?
Oh, shit, man. We are gearing up and getting ready to Playhouse Heroes in April in Texas.
Yes, I saw the flyer for that.
Yes. If you don't have a ticket already, I'm sorry.
It's fucking sold out.
It's been fucking sold out for a while. They had a waiting list, and those sold out too. So you better scout something from someone reputable. All jokes aside, though, I think it's going to be a really, really good fucking time. There's a bunch of killer up-and-coming underground bands playing, as well as, you know, Dark Angel and Candlemass. Can't go wrong. We are planning some dates yet to be announced on our way down there, as well as some dates to get us back home. So I should be finalizing some stuff in the next couple weeks. I know I teased it like a few months ago, and then some shit happened, and like everything. Like I'm just gonna gesture at the world right now, but I've got some dates to announce for everyone. We will have additional copies of the 7-inch on tour, and we will have additional copies of the full length on tour because we're going to be repressing Spectral Devastation in March. So I think that about wraps it up as far as new announcements. We do have some stuff going on in June that I can't talk about yet because it's not officially official. But, you heard it here. We're going to be touring again in June. So if you miss us this time around, or you can't go to Hell's Heroes, or everything else gets canceled, or whatever, the world burns to death, you can catch us again in June. And those dates will be announced probably end of April after the fest. So keep your ears to the ground and, your swords sharp.
Oh yeah. I wish I could go to that Texas show, man. There's so many bands there that I like,
Dude, it's gonna be insane.
Oh man.
Honestly, it's gonna be a fucking blur. I think a lot of people who haven't seen each other for a really long time are gonna be overwhelmed.
Smolder's supposed to be there too. Fuck.
We're all gonna be trying to maintain our sanity.
Yeah. Being
surrounded by so many people again.
Well, if you guys ever come close to Tennessee, I will fucking be there, man. I'm telling you.
Hell yeah, man. I think June. I have some dates planned for Tennessee. So, June and July. Keep those in mind.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I will be there and I will bang my fucking head.
You fucking better.
No stage diving, though.
I mean, I'll catch you.
No, yeah.
Make sure you land on your feet and everything. Oh, man.
All right, well,
yeah, hell man.
Thanks a lot for taking the time to talk to us again, and really appreciate it. And I love this release. I can't wait to hear the next, whatever you guys do next.
Fuck yeah, man. Thanks again for having me on the show, and hopefully we talk to you again sometime soon, and I'll get the rest of the dudes on board and we can answer some more questions.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, before I let you go, can I get you to make us another station tag?
Yeah, what you got?
All right, whenever you're ready, say something like, "This is Solicitor, and you're listening to Metal Devastation Radio."
All right, man. This is Solicitor, and you're listening to Metal Devastation Radio. Yow!
Hell yeah.
Rock and roll, dude.
What I'm going to do now is I'm going to blast some more Solicitor. I got Megalomaniac coming up next.
Sweet!
Hell yeah. All right, well, we'll talk to you later, sister.
Yeah, have a good rest of your night, bro.
Cheers.
Cheers.
There you have it, folks. Solicitor live on the Zach Moonshine Show with Metal Devastation fucking Radio. Like I said earlier, put your speakers in your fucking windows, put them in your front lawns, put them in your neighbor's driveway. If you're living in the basement, duct tape your speakers to the fucking ceiling. If you're in the attic, put your speakers in the floor. If you're in the back of a fucking taxi cab and you're listening on your cell phone, pull your earbuds out. Crank that little fucking speaker as loud as it'll fucking go. Crank this fucking shit up, man. If you don't see U-Haul trucks everywhere in your neighborhood tomorrow, I really don't know what the fuck you're doing, but you are not doing something right, man. It's easy. All you gotta do, reach out, grab the volume knob, and crank it.